Hey everybody, welcome into the Scoreboard. I'm your host, Brigham Harris. Today is December 28th, Tuesday, the final Tuesday episode of the entire year, and we're very excited about it. As Tuesday usually is the case, we're looking ahead to this week, talking about our schedules for our local high schools. Not a whole lot happening. As you know, we are in that little bit of a lull between Christmas and New Year's. A lot of teams have the time off for right now. So mainly we're only sticking with two main teams right now. That's Park City and Wasatch boys basketball. They're both heading out on tournaments, starting out with Park City. In fact, they are heading to the Utah Autism Holiday Classic. It's an invitational tournament, and they will be out there playing a handful of really talented teams: Hillcrest, Mountain Ridge, Viewmont, as well as Cottonwood. Again, that tournament starts tonight, and that'll extend all the way up to this Friday, and it'll extend almost into the first day of the new year. Again, that's the Utah Autism Holiday Classic tournament, raising awareness for autism. And sort of the same thing, Wasatch High School is attending that exact same tournament in the Salt Lake area. They will be facing Highland, East High, Murray, as well as Skyline, and the dates are very similar. The times of those games are sort of stagnant. Some of them are early, some of them are in the afternoon, and some of them, of course, are night games. But again, that tournament stretches all the way from today on to New Year's Eve. And as for North Summit High School, not as much happening. They won't be attending that tournament. However, the boys will have a game tonight at Morgan High School, so they'll travel about 30 minutes north of Colville. They'll there to face a cross-county rival. Very excited about that. We wish them the best of luck, and their girls team is off for, yet again, another week and a half or so. That's sort of the thing that's going around for a lot of these teams, is as we are in between the Christmas and the New Year's holidays, a lot of teams are taking the time off, but apparently not Park City and Wasatch boys basketball. We wish them the best of luck this week at that tournament, and North Summit as well. Again, we are looking ahead to this week, and in the spirit of looking ahead, setting goals, setting those resolutions for the new year, we're going to be talking about some athletes who are going to be looking ahead to the future. We are going to be rerunning our episode, or excuse me, our interview with Marcy Richens, a North Summit senior who has recently signed to play volleyball at a Division I college. We're going to show her interview that we had a couple weeks ago, talking about her commitment to the school and what she plans to do in the future. We're also going to be talking about the high school football players who have committed to play D1 at their respective colleges. So all that is coming up next on the Scoreboard. Stick around, you're not going to want to miss it.
The Scoreboard is proudly sponsored by Andrea Cox Mortgage. Welcome to First Rate Mortgage.
My name's James, and I've been in the market for mortgages several times over the years, so I've gone through the process with different people. And when I met Andrea, she explained to me why my current loans were subpar and how she could get better loans with better rates.
If I had to describe Andrea in one word, I think I would use the word passionate. She is very passionate about what she does and getting the right solutions for her clients, and that made her an absolute pleasure to work with.
Hi, I'm Andrea Cox. You can reach me at 435-631-9262. Call me, text me, or you can reach me at my website, andreacoxmortgage.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Scoreboard. I'm your host, Brigham Harris. As I mentioned, it is the 28th of December, and we are in between some of the two biggest holidays of the year, that being Christmas and New Year. So a lot of teams are off for right now, taking this nice bit of break to rest their legs, rest their bodies, and get back to competition here very soon. But speaking of competitors, we're heading back up to Colville and going to show you that interview that we had a few weeks ago with Marcy Richens, a senior at North Summit High School, who has recently committed to play college volleyball in the state up north. Our interview with Marcy Richens coming at you right now. All right, we are here with senior Marcy Richens of North Summit High School. Marcy, thank you again for joining.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, well, first things first, you have a bit of an announcement. I wanted to talk to you about your college plans. Go ahead, I'm going to give you the floor. Make that announcement for the second time.
I have just recently signed to go play college volleyball at Idaho State University.
Awesome.
Yep.
What went into that decision?
Definitely the coaches were like a main factor, like how much they supported me in other sports as well as volleyball.
Speaking of other sports, you're in between volleyball and basketball right now. Tell me just a little bit about what your plans are going into this basketball season here at North Summit.
Just to give up my all. Like, I do love volleyball the most, but my main focus is the sport at hand. So just giving my all in the sport.
Well, it's definitely something you've done in your career here at North Summit. Kind of tell me a little bit about that. First, starting off with this most recent state championship, just a couple weeks fresh. Tell me about how this season went for you guys.
The season was kind of crazy. We had 3 girls graduate last year, so we had like a lot of big roles to fill. But a lot of the underclassmen stepped up big time and were able to fill those roles.
Well, not just this year, but you've left sort of a 2 to 3 year long legacy here at the school. Again, not just in volleyball or basketball. We've talked about this in track as well. But let's talk a little bit about your legacy that you're going to leave as a volleyball player at North Summit. I've got some of your statistics memorized just because of how impressive they were. I think this year alone you recorded 600 kills or something like that, second in state. You were first in state with blocks, and it was not even close to 200 blocks on the year. What do you have to say about your legacy, not just in 2021, but over the past few years?
Just kind of crazy that I was able to do it. Just really all my coaches and my teammates, because I couldn't have done any of it without them.
What would you say, was there a turning point in your career, maybe say in high school, where you really stepped it up and put it into the next gear?
So going into my junior year, during the summer I was an outside hitter, and then start of the season my coaches moved me to middle blocker, middle hitter, and I think that was really my turning point.
Do you feel like you gained some confidence with the first state championship, and then this year was just a year where you didn't have much to lose, or what drove the success this year?
After winning a state championship, you definitely have a target on your back, like going into the next season. But I think just our coaches and the underclassmen had a drive to like want the state championship for us seniors. So just the whole team's morale was so good this year.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we're in between 2 seasons. Is it going to be hard to be focused on basketball when you know you have a D1 offer to go play a different sport?
Maybe, but I still love the sport, so it'll just be so fun. And the group of girls that I'm with is also just as fun, so it'll be good.
So, Marcy, you chose Idaho State. I'm sure that there were other contenders to try to get you on their team. Tell me a little bit about maybe a school you said no to.
So I did have offers in track, and I was asked to be on some club basketball teams, and I had another offer in volleyball. So making the decision was definitely tough to choose volleyball and Idaho State, but it was good.
What were some of those other offers? In-state, maybe?
Yeah, they were
Okay.
mainly in state, but I kind of wanted to get out of state, just not too far, but far enough.
Well, I've only been to Pocatello once in my life, and it's very similar. The landscape is very similar to Colville. Did that play any part in your decision, maybe wanting to stay with a small town?
Definitely. Yeah. I like small towns a lot, and Pocatello is like a little bigger, but not too big.
Yeah. What are your expectations, or what do you hope to do in another small town, but it is still D1. It's a D1 school. You're going to be playing D1 athletics. What's maybe a goal you have for the next 4 years?
Just to help improve the team that I'm with at the moment.
Last year, you were the MVP in basketball, not the sport you've chosen to go forward with, but you are going to be playing basketball your senior year this year. Kind of tell me about, do you feel like there's an added pressure to being the returning MVP, and maybe it's even in a sport you're not playing? What's going through your mind with that?
There's definitely pressure because you know targets on your back, and you know that most teams, if they scout and watch your team before, they know that they'll try to double team you, but hopefully that just gives an opportunity for someone else on my team to be open so I can just dish it to them and they'll have a great season as well.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's going to be maybe some confusion? You're going to try to set the basketball by chance, or you're going to try to spike it as a dunk? Any problems there?
I mean, maybe, but hopefully no.
Okay. All right, well, Marcy, thank you so much for taking the time. We wish you all the best up there at Idaho State. We're going to be tuning in, watching for you. Any future words for your future fans up there in Pocatello?
Just thank you for everything, and thank you for having me.
Once again, that interview of a few weeks ago was with senior Marcy Richens out at North Summit High School. She has recently, like she said, committed to play college volleyball at Idaho State, and we wish her the best of luck. Now, we're going to continue on with this theme of looking ahead, as it is Tuesday, and this is our final Tuesday episode of the year. We want to give you all this content that we can that looks ahead into the future, as New Year's resolutions is all about looking ahead, making goals, really having a broader perspective. positive. So when we come back, we're going to show you another interview that sort of gives you a bit of a tease, a bit of an insight for the future of skiing at Deer Valley. We're going to speak with a communications manager up there on the mountain here when we come back on the Scoreboard.
Historic Deerfield is significant as a site because we're an important place in American history.
All but a few of the historic houses are on their original home lots. The original town plan from the 1670s is still in place. The town retains its original scale, and in many of the houses we have objects connected to Deerfield, the Connecticut River Valley, and New England. And all of this together helps to convey a deep sense of place.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Scoreboard. I'm your host, Brigham Harris. It is December 28th, the final Tuesday episode of 2021, and what a year it has been. We are almost to the first week of January, and that means ski season is completely and fully upon us. If you live in the Wasatch Back, you may have noticed a whole lot of snow falling from the sky here in just the last little while, and we got to catch up with a communications manager up at Deer Valley Resort right here in Park City, talking about these absolute pounds and pounds of snow that they have been getting. Over a foot of snow just in the past couple of weeks. We got to catch up with Emily Summers up at Deer Valley. That interview is coming at you right now. Hey everybody, Brigham Harris here. Thanks for joining us. We are at Deer Valley Resort, and I am joined by Emily Summers, the Senior Communications Manager here at Deer Valley. Emily, thank you for taking a couple minutes with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, tell me just a little bit about this season. A lot of changes. I know it's been a wacky couple of years.
Yeah.
Tell me maybe just the first thing that pops in your head when you think of Deer Valley 2021, 2022.
Well, we're here and we're skiing, and that is the most important part. I think what we've all realized over recent years is the need for outdoor recreation, and an important part it plays in all of our lives, and skiing, and how lucky we are to have it here in Park City and so much of it. So just to be open and to have people recreating on the mountain is the most important and exciting part so far.
Well, if this was any other sport, the conditions would be awful and we would be miserable. But because we're on a ski resort, this is all time. We've got some sunshine, we got lots of snow. Tell me just a little bit about how the mountain's looking today.
Yeah, so we all know Mother Nature was just a little bit stingy as we were getting open. We saw all that early season snow in October, and then fall came back. But we were able to make our planned opening day. Deer Valley always opens that first Saturday in December. One of our smaller than normal openings, we had, I think it was 7 chairlifts and 9 runs. We're just under 2 weeks into opening, and we've doubled the run count. Wow. Thank you for the snow we've seen. In the last week and a half, I think 3 storms have rolled through, bringing us about 2 feet of snow, which is just fantastic. But also, most importantly, this time of year are the temperatures. And we can hear them. Those snow guns in the background are going. And for those to be going in the middle of the afternoon means temperatures are good. Yeah. So Deer Valley can make a lot of snow. It's what we're known for. We invest in it. We call it our insurance policy. And we are making the snow as fast as we can right now.
Awesome. What's maybe one thing that you would say to maybe someone at home who's thinking, maybe I really do want to go to Deer Valley today. Maybe I'll check out the conditions. What's one thing you would say to someone who's kind of on the fence right now?
Get outside. I mean, this is the time of year where we're all craving that recreation. Be outside, get active, get those ski legs ready for those big powder days. We know they're coming. We're opening terrain as fast as possible, a mixture of our man-made snow and natural snow. So the most important thing is always check those conditions daily, because they are rapidly changing. You can check on deervalley.com, sign up for our daily emails, get that right to your inbox. But this is a time of year where kind of every day is a little bit different.
Yeah, and speaking of differences, this year, I know I'll probably sound like a broken record talking about COVID and years are changing, but tell me a little bit about the facilities, if you will. Just walking through here, we noticed that, people are keeping distance from each other. There's masks, there's still health policies in place. Tell me about what's going on with that.
Yeah, the number one priority of everyone at this resort is to stay open, stay healthy, stay open. We want to offer skiing until mid-April. So we did a unified mask policy inside. Please wear your masks unless you're actively eating or drinking. Just the staff are going to do it. We are going to just try to respect that for each other. We have testing measures in place for the staff, and basically, operations are kind of back to normal. Chairlifts are going to operate, loading at full capacity. You don't have to wear a mask outside. Dining can be a little different. Make sure those reservations are done in advance. You're going to order probably by your phone or QR code in our lodges for lunch. So those are more sit-down service and cafeteria style. But overall, just take a look at the website, take a look at our COVID policy operation, just familiarize yourself before you get here and make sure there's a mask in your pocket for inside.
So Emily, here at Deer Valley today, we're about a week away from Christmas, and I'm seeing a lot of skiers, a lot of visitors here today. Maybe give me some pointers on what they can do to really maximize their experience here.
Absolutely. So Deer Valley has been known for being one of the resorts that has always limited lift ticket sales. So we're watching that capacity on the mountain of skiers each day to making sure that that level of service, the chairlift capacities, the seats inside for lunch are matching who's out there on the mountain. We want people to make the most of their time here on the hill. With that being said, the most important thing people can do, especially coming out here during any holiday period, including spring break, is to pre-purchase their lift tickets. You can buy those online at deervalley.com. You're going to get the best price, the best availability there. And if you know the dates you're skiing, just buy them now. Just make sure you have that guaranteed spot on the mountain.
Okay, got it. Well, looking forward, Deer Valley, as we've talked about, is a great location, not only for tourists to come and ski, but locals. What other events do you think people are going to be excited about, especially here at Deer Valley?
Yeah, Deer Valley has a long legacy of hosting international events. You know, right behind us here is our Olympic venue when we hosted the freestyle events in 2002, and we've been hosting these international competitions for 24 years. Wow. We're going to do it again this year in January. It's a little bit earlier than usual, and that's because we're an Olympic qualifying event for our mogul and aerial athletes. So January 12th, 13th, and 14th are the competition days. The schedule is on deervalley.com. We'll have 1 day of aerials followed by 2 days of moguls.
Awesome. Well, I'll probably be among one of the spectators there watching. Emily, again, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to catching up more with you later this year.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Emily, thank you so much for your time, and we hope to see you up there on the slopes at Deer Valley. And if, again, you want to maximize your experience at Deer Valley, continue to check those conditions. We'll have those updates for you on the mountain. 10 or 11 inches either at Park City, Deer Valley, all of our ski resorts here locally just in the past 24 hours. It has been a whirlwind of a December. We saw fall, almost summerish temperatures at the beginning of the month, and now we are getting blasted with snow, but I can't complain. I love to see it. Now, when we come back, we are going to be talking a little bit more about what there is to come on the scoreboard here very soon, as it is, like I said, our final looking ahead episode of 2021. We're going to be talking more about 2022 and what we have to expect right here on the scoreboard.
Hi guys, I'm Janet the Dairy King. We're famous here for our ice cream. We have 84 different kinds of shapes. We also have some amazing food. So come and try our chicken strips, our fish and chips dinners, our burgers, our fries, our sweet potato fries. Oh my gosh, we've got so much. Once you go over to the Heber Valley Railroad and ride their train, then of course you have to come here and see all of our trains. Our family's serving your family since 1946. We hope to see you soon here at the Dairy King.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the scoreboard. Again, I'm your host, Brigham Harris, and it is the end of December, but we get to look ahead at one of the most adorable rescue animals here that we have in Park City. Tingo, the newest rescue avalanche dog at Deer Valley Resort. We are chatting with him and his owner, Max, right now. Hey everybody, Brigham Harris here. Thanks for joining us. I am joined right now by Max Gans, who is a ski patroller here at Deer Valley. And Max, why don't you go ahead and introduce your buddy here.
This is Tingo. He's our newest candidate for our avalanche dog program here at Deer Valley. I think he's 95 days old today.
Oh, wow. Happy 95th, buddy. Tell me just a little bit about how these adorable avalanche dogs are chosen.
So there's a set of known breeds that we look for when we're looking for a litter, and that's a puppy. And so what we'll do is after we look at shelters to see if we can find anything there, if we can't find anything at a shelter, we'll start looking at litters around anywhere we can find, really.
Okay.
Once we pick a litter of like a breed that we think we like, then we go through a little puppy testing, which is just to make sure that they're pretty fearless, brave, that kind of stuff. So they have a really big play drive.
How did he do in the testing? Is he not there yet, or is he 99th percentile? What are we looking at?
No, he did great. He definitely shined during his testing, which is why we picked him. He did way better than his brothers and sisters did, and showed us that he wanted to be an avalanche dog.
Does he go through any sort of like, you have to see him dig a certain amount, or what are some of the trainings he has to go through?
Typically, the biggest thing we're looking for is that play drive, so we really want him to want to play tug.
Okay.
So what he gets his reward from is when he pulls someone out of the snow, we really want him to just rag and tug on a toy.
Okay.
And that's his reward for doing a job well done.
Nice. How often would you say are avalanche dogs pulled into, I guess not pulled into question, but they're pulled into action?
Into like rescue situations?
Yeah.
Honestly, not so much, which is a really good sign.
Of course.
But with WBR, Wasatch Backcountry Rescue, we get put on a list for call-outs. So if something does happen in the backcountry and the person's not wearing any kind of transceiver, this is almost the only way that you could find them without just systematically poking holes in the snow every foot of maybe like 2 football fields.
Yeah. So they're very important, obviously, to your guys' job, ski patrol, making sure people are safe.
Definitely.
As far as keeping the dog safe, I'm having a really hard time not just petting him and loving him. So what are maybe some things that skiers should know if they see you and Tingo on the mountain?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking.
Of course.
So my biggest fear with him on the mountain is other people skiing around him. So ski edges are just notoriously sharp, as you know, as they need to be. And if one touches him, it could split him open, and that could be it for the rest of his season, which would be terrible.
Yeah.
So he's a working dog, but he's also obviously adorable, and he's a social dog. So if you see him, it's really nice to just ask for permission to pet him, to say hi. And most of the time, we'll typically say yes, but sometimes we're really trying to get the dog to focus and pay attention to us and continue on their training. So it might not be the best time.
As a dog owner, I know exactly what you're talking about. Sometimes that can be the most difficult thing about having a dog. Maybe tell me a little bit about yours and Tingo's relationship. I understand that he's your dog, but you guys are kind of partners in the job you do.
Definitely. So since I got him, he's come to work with me every day, and he comes home with me every day, and we got our weekends together. And that's because his training really never stops, because he's always learning. He doesn't really quite know when not to learn. So comes to work with me every day, comes up on the mountain. And whenever we get the opportunity, we just get to train, hang out. He's always kind of doing tricks and learning and stuff. So I'm just trying to reinforce all the good behaviors that'll make him into the best avalanche dog.
Nice. Well, last question, snack of choice, because he can't answer. I'm going to ask you, what's his go-to?
Right now, he really loves these little training bites that I have for him that are in my pocket. You'll see him cue right in. This is definitely his favorite. I think this one's made of chicken liver.
Yum!
He loves it.
Oh, well, he's adorable. Boy. Well, thank you again, Max. I really appreciate you taking the time, and we hope to see you and Tingo out there helping people out on the slopes.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Max and Tingo, thank you guys so much. We look forward to seeing your skis as well as your paws on the mountain here very soon this year. We'll be right back. Everybody, welcome back to The Scoreboard. I'm your host, Brigham Harris, and on this final Looking Ahead episode of the year, we're talking about some things that we're excited about, not only just in 2021, but things we're going to be seeing in 2022. And the first thing we want to mention is 5 standout athletes at our own local high school here, Park City High. 5 athletes who have committed to play football, some of them D1, some of them Power 5 conferences. Now, many of you already may know these names, in Carson Tabarachi, who is committed to play at the University of Utah. Also, you may know Stone Combs, a standout wrestler, one of the best wrestlers in the state, but he is going to go play football at the University of Nevada. And now a couple of family members, Max Alford, who's going to be going up north to Logan to play for Utah State, the Aggies, and a sharing of the name is Sam Alford, who's going to be playing for Montana, the Grizz up in Missoula. And finally, last but not least, Steven Shagan, going to go play for St. Thomas. We wish all of these football players, these amazing local athletes, the best of luck in their future endeavors with these football programs. We are very excited to watch them play on Saturday afternoon, Saturday mornings, college football here very soon in the next 9 to 10 months. Very excited about that. Now, that is going to do it for us here on the Scoreboard. Once again, I'm your host, Brigham Harris, and if you want to watch any older episode, any past interview, you can go to thescoreboardnation.com or tune in on Park City TV here locally at 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. on every Tuesday and Friday. That'll do it for us here on the Scoreboard. We'll see you next time.